Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back. Season 4. Here we go. Racing Formula 4. Yes, yes, yes. Mr. Fury Strat is with me. He's going to be with me all season. It's great to have you here, Fury. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. Good. It's yeah, a bit of a different experience for me this season, stepping out of the driver's seat and
Yes.
into the commentary box. But look, I'm excited. I'm keen. The new voice replacing Housey. A lot of pretty big shoes to fill,
Well,
though.
I mean, yes, I mean, we I don't know if you wanted to reveal, but I mean, you did say that you don't mind a good stat yourself. So, well, we'll just see how the season progresses, of course, here, mate. But I'll tell you what, we've got the graphics god here in as well. Of course, he's been working his backside off behind the scenes, trying to get everything absolutely ready. Uh, I'm not too sure if he wants to say hello. He's pretty busy. He's got his kids in the background as well. But Xerxes, how are you, mate? If you want to say hello, you can say hello.
I'm all good, mate. That's
All
all I've got
right,
to say,
here we
really.
go.
I don't want to interrupt it too much, but yeah, let's crack on.
Yeah, all right, let's do it. Let's get stuck in. So, well, we're not going to. I've got in front of me a random wheel, and well, Fury can see it, of course, and well, I'll get Fury to read out the names, of course. Can you see it, Fury?
I sure really can.
Okay.
So,
So,
starting with the pot four, gentlemen.
exactly right. Starting with the pot four. So I'm going to click the button for the first spin here, and we'll see which name comes up first. Of course, going into team number one, and excuse me. All right, the wheel is spinning. It is spinning. Going into team one. Go for it, Fury.
Oh, it is none other than the defending pot four champion, Casey Dane, steps up into the team one role. So, first team drawn, and honestly, a very solid driver. Obviously, took pot four home with a full race in hand, I do believe it was. So,
Yeah,
very
mate. Yeah,
consistent driver. Just finishes races and accumulates those points. So, he'll be very handy for team one.
absolutely. Absolutely. All right, we'll give this wheel another spin. And there we go. It is spinning now. Go for it, Fury.
Alrighty, so pick number two, sorry, I should say draft and the number two for tier four will be Bopton taking the first seat in team two. He's been a guy. He's had some quick results. We've been keeping an eye on his time trials. Obviously, new game will shake everything up, and he's a nice little cheeky driver that could pose some problems for the other pot four drivers this season.
Absolutely, mate. And well, looking at some of the guys' pace this season, it's good to see them taking a step up. Of course, the wheel has spun. Going into team three is old footy Bender.
My banana bender brother
Yes.
from our Renault days back in the day. He's very solid pick. He's shown some pace here and there, and hopefully this is the season that puts old footy bender back on the map.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Now, we'll give this spin and wheel another spin, and we'll see who is next. Of course, going into team number four. Oof, Johnny M4.
How good's that? M4 for team
Yeah,
four.
exactly.
It was meant to be pot four,
Well, a lot of
all
fours
the
there.
fours.
Well, I hope that's not a. I hope that's not a sign for season four, of course. And yes, there is a lot of fours there. Great lad, and well, I haven't really seen too much of him on the game just yet. Going incognito of late is Johnny M4. We'll see how he gets on in season four, of course. And of course, slotting into the final team number five is Mr. Tie Star. And well, there you go, Fury Tie Star into team number five.
Yeah, so Tosso is another one. Improved a lot towards the end of last season. He's another guy that looking at time trials again this season. Obviously, time trial a little bit less representative to on this game compared to last year's game. Obviously, some different setup tweaks you might want to make for quality in the race. But he's another guy who's taken a little bit of another step forward. So Pot 4 is looking very, very competitive, and it'll be really exciting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, exactly right, mate. It is absolutely looking competitive, and well, we'll crack on with pot number 3. Might as well get it going, of course. And let me just bring this screen back up. Yep, there we go. Give the wheel another spin. And we're going into team number 1 from pot 4. Excuse me, pot 3 is Broken Reptile.
Yeah, another driver. He joined late last season,
Yes.
and picked up with a couple of really strong results against the well, what you could call the established order of drivers, and could be another one to keep an eye out in the pot system. Obviously, with differing skill levels on the grid, some of these guys that you may not think they're going to be quick enough to be scoring top fives, top tens, but you never know. Keeping your nose clean, and which is something Broken Reptile can do, can often end up with a lot more points than you would think.
Exactly right, and got some speed up his belt too there. One to look out for. Might be a bit of a smoky Fury, and we'll see how he progresses, of course. And we'll give this wheel another spin while the screen freezes. Just give us 1 second. Spin. There we go. Okay, so that was pot 3, team number 1. Pot 3, team number 2 is Mr. Brad Tay. Oh, excuse me. Whoa, my bad. Crazy Kiwi. My bad. Sorry, Crazy Kiwi.
He's called it early, and
Yeah, I called it way early. Whoops.
Crazy Kiwi's another one. He's been quick, shown some pace. He's good mates with a driver we'll be mentioning a little bit later on when he gets to his pot. So he's another guy that scored a lot of points last season and was just consistently there or thereabouts.
He
So
was, wasn't he? Yeah.
he'll be looking to take that chip this season, I would think.
Well, I mean, he did say that he was enjoying it, and well, I mean, you very rarely hear him say he practices, but well, I mean, he said that he was going to put some practice in this one. He's actually liking it, so he'll be another one to watch, of course, and we'll give this wheel another spin. Pot 3, team number 3. Who's going in team number 3? Well, the Canadian, Mr. Your Guy, JC. JC! Going into team number 3 there, Fury.
Yeah, he's another one that joined late last season. Was he joined with a few races to go. Did show some solid pace. I think he'll be looking to show that a little bit more this season and move forward. He's actually relative unknown to me. I haven't actually seen much of his racing. If you have.
No, he's very, very solid, and well, I've seen him do a few practice races elsewhere, and doing a very solid job. Of course, got some speed up his sleeve as well. So, well, I mean, all the boys have improved, and that's it must be said right across the board. I was eyes wide open when I seen the boys at certain tracks sweating it out, Fury, as we do, of course. And well, might as well spin this wheel to see who goes into team number 4 from pot 3. And that is Brad Tay.
Yes, Brad Tay. He's runner up in pot 3 last season. Not pot 3, pot 4 last season. Is a defending constructors champion as part of Caterpillar F1.
Yes.
And half of the bun, as we would call him.
Well, of course, and you being a driver of that successful team.
Oh, two successful constructors runs was won by none other than myself. So I know what it takes to win a constructors title and a pot title. I did win one of those too. Ironically, the pot 3 one, which going into that pot 3 slot for Team 5 is the none other than defending pot 3 champion. And also a Caterpillar F1 driver. He'll be racing against his mate Brad Tay.
Of
He's
course.
Blue Dog.
Blue Dog. And here's
There'll
another
be,
one. Well, the pot 3 champ, mate. The pot 3 champ. Defending champ is the Blue Dog. And, well, let's just see how he gets on as well. And well, I do know he's been practicing behind the scenes. All the boys have. And it's fantastic to see. I mean, I can't stress it enough. The leap forward that this game has just agreed with so many people, hasn't it, Fury?
Yeah, 100%. It's a different way of driving these cars. Just the way ground effect's been brought in, understeer from being behind cars in front is now a lot more prominent. having to actually use hards in a race weekend, which is something that if you
Yes.
ask any driver last game, they were like, "What are you doing? You're crazy."
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's a lot of changes, and we saw that with the new regulations in real life and how much they've
Absolutely.
changed up the results. And I wouldn't expect anything less
Well,
here. But from what I know from some of the rest of the boys to be picked, there are also some very quick remaining at the top or looking to remain at the top drivers.
of course, mate, of course. And well, we'll move on to the pot number 2, boys. And I'll give this wheel a spin. Okay, so going into team number 1, pot number 2 is Macedonian.
Macedonian. He was solid last season. Didn't quite have the pace in pot one to match a couple of the guys up the top, but he scored points and he brings them home more
He
often
does.
than not. So another that team one team. It's they're not may not doesn't worry about overall or one lap pace. They're all about bringing home the points, and to win a constructors title here, that's what you need to do, and that's finish races and score points.
Well, exactly right. I mean, he didn't have the greatest of seasons, season just gone, but the season before, I mean, he had a great season, came second in the championship. So he'll be looking for some of that form to come back. And, well, let's just move on to team number 2 here. I'll give this wheel another spin there, Fury. And we'll just see which name pops up here, mate. Ooh, ho, ho, ho. Who is it? Who is it? It is Scotty.
Scotty 793. I've had the pleasure of racing against this man. He's a pretty rock solid driver. He finished. He actually won a drivers' championship in another tier. Joined us late and got a couple of podiums late on. I do remember. I think he came second to Baby Sando, who was reserving on the night at Britain. But he's another one who's going to bring home really solid points
Yeah, he's a
for
good
the
driver, mate.
team that he's a part of, and he's really clean as well. He
Yeah,
shows a lot of respect to other
absolutely.
drivers on track, which is something that for some people, nobody here, but for some people, they leave that behind for some
Yes,
odd
yes,
reason.
yes. Well, that's half the battle, Fury, as you know, mate. Anyway, we'll just spin this wheel, and we'll get on to what is this number? Team number 3 will be Suicide 5. He's
Yeah,
back.
so
He's
he's
back.
back. He's back full time, and he's actually been he's been lighting the time trial beats on fire. I've done a couple of races against him on the game. He's shown some very very solid pace. So, what
Hmm.
Team Three have picked up a very very handy driver of Suicide Five. He also showed, he showed he can bring home championship points. He was part of the Hello Kitty team back in
Yes, he was.
season two, the debut of Australia, and
He
won a
was.
constructors championship with them. So, he's got the pace, and
Well,
hopefully
hang on
he'll
a
be able
minute,
to put it on
Fury.
display.
You were there as well, weren't you?
I sure was part of Hello Kitty or part of Caterpillar F1.
Well, of course, we work our way back to the to the real issue at hand here, mate.
Oh,
Anyway, we'll
but
get
there
cracking.
was a pot three championship in there as well. Like,
Well, I mean, let's just move on. Here we go. So, yes, team number 4, we will spin the wheel. And, well, yes, Fury's been quite successful here at Formula 4 in the constructors department. And that will be Dino. Dino goes into team number 4.
Dino's favourite time is 4:20, as from what I know. But he's a very quick driver. He's one of very few nowadays that does still race on the controller. But he's very quick. We'll have to watch out for his starts from race one. I've seen him gain at least 4 or 5 spots on this game off race starts at the moment.
Wow.
So he'll be one to watch if he's starting down the order. I wouldn't expect him to stay there long before turn one, which does mean, mate, that into team number 5 in pot two was IRL Numbnuts,
Yes.
who
IRL
I
number.
actually
Well, he's
I haven't
jumped
raced
onto a
against
wheel
him.
this game, mate, and well, he did say to me that he might lose some pace, but I think he's found some form with this wheel. Because well, as we do, Fury, we do keep an eye on quite a few of these boys, and well, yes, he slots in to team number 5, of course, and that is the pot two's done and dusted. So it's shaping up pretty nicely there, mate. And we're going to push on straight away to the pot ones, of course. We'll just move this. There we go. All right. So we'll spin this wheel, Fury. We'll get this one underway. All
Yes,
right. So
the
going.
big pot, as they call it.
Exactly right. So going into team number 1 is Millie Gaines.
Millie Gaines, the a driver who's he showed some very good pace. Unfortunately,
He has.
couldn't get the consistency going. Was ending up finding his car with 3 wheels on it more often than not, which it did hurt his championship a lot. But on this game, I've noticed he's not just found another step in pace, but he's actually found a lot more consistency. He's not winding up on the side of the track all too often. So he could be a sneaky little underdog this season.
Yeah,
Obviously, a
mate.
couple of names that we'll see returning. I'm sure they'll be brought in later on. But Millie Gaines could be a little underdog in Tier 1.
I think
And
so
who
too.
doesn't like a good underdog?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And well, God knows he needs some some good form to come his way. And I think this might be the season for Millie Gaines, to be fair. He's one of my smokies as well too. There, Fury. We'll see how they get on. Of course, yes. The first race is next week. We are at France, but I'll spin this wheel one more time, and we're going to straight to team number 2 for the pot ones. Well, well, well. Can you say anything less other than the defending champion? Rip the beans. What a stellar season he had last season. And, he only hopes he can defend it and defend it well, mate.
Well, it's the first time we've actually had, in terms of the Aussie division, the defending drivers champion on the grid. Of course, Jotaku
Exactly.
could not continue on after winning the chip in the first Australian season.
Yes.
But he's back on the grid. He's got good pace. He's not beefing up with any teammates like he did for part of the last season. He's won constructors chips here. He's one of those guys that you nearly expect him to be at the pointy end, and anything less would be you'd be kind of wondering where he is.
Well, there you go. As this computer's having a hissy fit, it's lagging big time. I'll remove that. We'll push the button and the wheel spins again for team number 3. Who will it be? Well, the young fella. The young fella here, Fury. Tabbed. It is tabbed going into team number 3.
Yes, the runner-up from last season, and he's ended up being runner-up behind Beans again in the draft pot. But he'll be hoping to reverse that. He was a little bit frustrated with some of his results towards the end of the season when he looked like he was starting to run.
Yes.
Unfortunately, some of the
Yes.
later races didn't play out for as well for him that he would have liked. But he's been quick the whole time I've known Tab behind the wheel. So it'd be another guy. The pot 1 field and the whole field for Australia as a whole is looking extremely competitive, and that's just
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
guys that are going to be fighting in their pots. It's guys that are some of the best guys racing in Australasia at the moment. So
There you go.
big call early,
Absolutely.
but I'll back myself on that.
Well, there you go. I just, the cleanliness that's what it's all about, wheel to wheel. I mean, we all like to have fun, but we all like to do it fairly, and we all like to race hard, but as long as it's fair, and that's what these boys do well these days. And it's fantastic to see. But we'll move on to pot. Excuse me, pot. Well, it is pot 1, but yes, team number 4. Team number 4. Spin this wheel. Who will it be? Who will it be? Dun, 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 dun. 2-5.
Yes, well, he can't really defend the pot 2 championship as he's not in pot 2, so he makes that
Taking
step
us.
up from pot 2.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
we saw last year that the guy that stepped up didn't quite have the season they wanted. But with 2-5, this game, whole new game, we can't take last season's results too much into it. So 2-5 may end up maybe throwing a candle at Beans and Tabbed and Milligan's maybe being a thorn in their side, just
Yeah,
taking
well,
away points here and there. And that's when you're scoring points like that consistently, and that was something 2-5 did well. He did that a little bit better than I did. I finished runner-up to him last season. So, he scored a lot
yes,
of points and he
yes,
scored
he
them
did.
well. And that's
He did.
what you need to not only win, your pot, but, overall drivers championships. And, we keep coming back to it because that's the big thing here, and that's the team's championship.
Exactly right. And of course, slotting into uh, team number 5 is Tactical Genius. Now, he's another one that's very similar to Tufo, very consistent. And, he just hopes he can carry that form. I mean, you very rarely always see him there and thereabouts. He's tactical. And, if this game agrees with him like how it's agreeing with everybody else, and, he's going to be right up there in with a shout for the championship as well here, Fury.
Yeah, it's definitely right. He showed not on more than one occasion that he was very happy to disrupt the battle that we got last season between Tabbed and Beans, pretty much duking it out every single track we rocked up to, and Tactical. Then every at the couple of tracks he did have that little bit of stronger performance. He'd throw it up and throw his car into the mix, and he got a very good result in Japan, getting a P2. They've got a few other very nice podiums as well. And he's one of those guys where at the tracks he's strong at, he will be at the pointy end. But even when he's not strong, he doesn't give up the fight. He brings home the car to get as many points as possible, not just for himself, but for the team. And
That's
just
what it's all
looking at
about.
these pots across the board, it's going to be a pretty bang on season with new cars, new racing. I'm excited. It's looking really good.
Well, exactly right. And yes, all will be revealed in due course, of course. The boys know where the calendar's at. The calendar has been was released in the server a few days ago. And, we'll get that out to you good people out there, of course, in the Twitter land. And so you can see exactly what is going on. There are the teams. And as you did say, Fury, I'm very impressed. Loving the look of the list and looking forward to a great, great season. Of course, we're not going to be doing the English side, the UK side, but it's a good segue to let everybody know we've got a commentary team, Fury. Of course, you've joined it. Of course, Housey is still a part of it, but I've got to welcome. They're not here. They're going to be doing the European side, of course. But Bloomstar and Mr. Monday. So Bloom and Mr. Monday, I speak of, all shot down, and they will be your commentators for the European stream. And I wish them all the very best. And I'm sure they will do a stellar job. But we get racing next week here, Fury, and we will be going live 7:30 p.m. Monday. We will be at France. And hopefully in between, hopefully in between that time, there might be a new intro video release. No pressure, don't know yet. There might be, it might be not. But it's very, very close, folks. Very, very close, of course. The graphics god working tirelessly in the background, doing his thing. So, we'll leave it at that. That is the driver draw for season 4. We get racing next week, as I did say. And from us, for now, goodbye.